The fun thing about a hot market is, and has been my entire career, when bullion starts going a bit crazy, some of the rarities start popping up and they're as affordable as ever. Well, tonight we have one piece dollar in particular, that we've had on the air only twice this year. Not because we didn't want to, we couldn't find the coins to make it happen. Tonight, for a few minutes anyways, let's enjoy the 28S. And the 28S is, well, one of the keys to the entire piece dollar series. So let me step back for a second now and just talk about that series, because the piece dollar series was an interesting concept, right? End of World War I, we want to create a silver dollar to celebrate the end of World War I, the war of all wars at that time, right? And we start creating the Morgan instead because we're fighting over the design. The obverse was obvious. The Statue of Liberty, the modern-esque look of Lady Liberty, is clean. When you come to this country, you come into New York Harbor, that's Liberty, and it's on our piece dollar. The reverse is where the complication came in. All of our eagles throughout the 1800s and early 1900s, every one of them had arrows in the talons. Their hands and feet together, right? Well, that was not good for a peace coin, so they eventually said, brilliant idea, let's put in an olive branch, a symbol of peace. Love it, let's do it. So it took 6 months to come up with that, but that's what they ended up doing, right? So we now have this beautiful design, and they launched it out late 1921. It's issued throughout most of the Roaring 20s. 28's the last year they made it, then they stopped. No 29s, no 30s, no 31s, no 32s, no 33s. 5-year pause. And they brought it back in 34 and 35, and then we pulled silver dollars as a circulating issue for the U.S. Mint at that time in history, and it was never brought back. So the piece dollar is the last of the 90% silver dollars. Inside of that short series of 24 coins, P's, D's, and S's all included, there are a few that just stand out amongst all others. And it's because of how many are known surviving today. Many of you might have heard the phrase the Pittman Act before, and that's usually always tied to the conversation on the silver dollar, the Morgan. Because in 1918, Congress authorized the melting of 60% of all of the Morgans. Well, this was made afterwards. Why are you bringing it up? Well, the piece dollar had a similar issue pop up, right? Uniquely enough, the piece dollar ends in 1935, the year hostilities start in Europe for World War II. And as we're working on developing this atomic bomb, which eventually ended World War II, we needed silver. So what do? We melted silver dollars just like we did back for World War I's start. So we had a melt before this coin was issued, and we had a melt after this coin was issued, all tied to end of one war, the beginning of another, and all the fun things that come in between, right? Or they're not. Now on this one, that's the capsule. It was scratched up and I had no replacement. The coin is beautiful and pure. My apologies for that. Note to self, bring more capsules next time. But the specifics on this one, 28S is special, right? It ranks very, very well. It's number 11 out of 24, so it's a low mintage. Only 1.6 million made that year, compared to other years like the 22s and 23s, where you're looking at 30, 40 million coins. This is tiny. But today, because of the Manhattan Project, the melting of silver for the atomic bomb, we don't know like we didn't know for the Morgans. So we go to where we have knowledge. And for the last 40 years, NGC and PCGS have been certifying coins for us, giving us their opinion of the quality, and we like that. Independent certification is kind of a backbone of this industry. Keeps things clean, right? Well, if you look at this coin, and then you look at the other rarities in the series, the highly desired coins in the series, Huge difference. The 1928, the most limited mintage, coin number 1. There's 23,000 and change that have been seen by NGC and PCGS combined. All coins. This tells you there's not a lot of them out there, which is why it's special. The second rarest is the 27p, 18,000 and change. Then there's the 21 high relief. We all want that only high relief, 41,000 and change. The last piece dollar ever made, the 35, 21,000 and change, right? So you get all these rarities, these desired coins in the piece dollar series, and they're desired because of how few are known today, which we just discussed. And then you look at this one. Why is this not in the conversation? It's just as sexy as all the others are when it comes to look and feel and numbers. 19,160. So the only coin that it's not as rare as, according to NGC and PCGS, is the 27p. Now, let's talk about the grade real quick. Super slider. It's an about uncirculated grade, AU 53 to a 55 technically. But when I say about uncirculated or I talk about an uncirculated coin, it's the same words. Where do I pause can screw things up. We want nobody to be misled. Because if this is an uncirculated coin, $800 to $1,000, easy. So for me, I look at the value of a coin. If it's circulated or uncirculated, and then this beautiful slider category. You look at it, it's beautiful, and it slides as unk, but where's the price? Closer to circ. That's a value, right? If a regular circulated 28S sells for $99, how can a huge jump in grade be only $30 more, and then an uncirculated be, give or take, $800 to $1,000? Value. The competition has the exact same coin you're looking at over $300, and they have unks, as I said, over $800. Tonight only. Because this goes away tomorrow. It goes back to its normal price. We're at $129.95. It is an outright silly value. And again, my apologies on the capsules. Your capsules will not be scratched. I can promise you that. Thanks for listening. Time for us to be moving on.